extend a very warm welcome to His Excellency, the President, Ranil Wickramasinghe. Sir, your highest commitment, blended with enlightened and strategic leadership, is perhaps the best proof of success of Sri Lanka's green transition, and in that context, we are encouraged that you are present here with us today. Today's gathering is both momentous and historic because of the presence of our most distinguished guest, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, the President of the Global Green Growth Institute and 8th Secretary General of the United Nations. Your Excellency, we are very honored and extremely happy that you are with us today, helping us in a way for us an accelerated green transition in Sri Lanka. Your visit to Sri Lanka is very timely and auspicious, particularly in the post-COP27 and COP15 global context, and we believe it will pave the way in making Sri Lanka's green growth a practical reality in the foreseeable future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the existential threat of the climate crisis and catastrophic loss of nature make green growth across the globe a necessity for collective survival. Green growth means fostering economic growth and development while ensuring the natural assets continue to provide the resources and environmental services on which our well-being relies. Sri Lanka well contributes to the global agenda of sustainable development. And in this regard, climate change, sustainable land management, biodiversity conservation, waste management, circular economy, green cities, and environment education will be the highest green investment priorities of the country. Sri Lanka's emissions are very low comparing other countries. Our strategy now is to maximize renewable energy technology and build resilience in our country, which at the same time delivers on carbon neutrality by 2050. This is our contribution to the achievement of the Paris goals and keeping 1.5 alive. The long-term nature-positive vision of the nation that was well articulated by His Excellency, the President Ranil Wickramasinghe, will continue to guide us. That is, to take Sri Lanka towards higher middle-income status within few years and aiming to make Sri Lanka into a developed country by 2048. Exactly after 100 years of independence. And we will achieve that. The hardship we face now can only be borne if we contribute to this more prosperous future. The government of His Excellency Ranil Wickramasinghe is ready to overcome the challenges, even in the face of global economic and food crisis. Despite our economic crisis, Sri Lanka has been keeping the green transition at the top of our action plan. For instance, we have submitted the updated determined contribution to the UNFCCC with the more ambitious, quantified and robust assessment of mitigation potential and adaptation measures for the next decade. We focus on building resilience of agriculture, fisheries, livestock health, water biodiversity, coastal and marine tourism, urban planning, and human settlement, etc. Sri Lanka commits to reduce GHG emission by 14.5% from power, transport, waste, forestry, and agriculture. To minimize the environmental issues, we have prepared Climate Prosperity Plan, which seeks not just to eliminate vulnerability of climate change, but use our climate targets as the investment to help drive growth across a more sustainable economy. To reach this, we need rapid and sustained economic growth. And the challenge is how to achieve that in a way that is compatible with our climate and other environmental targets. The solution to all this lies in the provision of external funding. I repeat, Excellency, external funding in a sustained manner, thereby facilitating accelerated transition towards blue and green economy. We would like GGGI and other like-minded development partners to consider Sri Lanka as an opportunity where you have the possibility to mold it into a unique development model based on its combined effects of climate, biodiversity, and debt vulnerabilities. The concept of loss and damage funding as negotiated by developing countries on a multilateral basis was also based on similar principles, which make it more acceptable in a country level bilateral context. I would like to just mention that in 2016 and 2017, the flood cost us more than $1 billion and 248 lives. And almost, I think 48 missing. So, impact that climate change can have. Alternatively, GGI can play an instrumental role in promoting sweeps of debt for investments through which large-scale creative debt restructuring can be implemented to achieve climate objectives and sustainable development goals for Sri Lanka and other debt-distressed countries in the global south. We believe that these are the most desirable and pragmatic forms of support Sri Lanka would require, given its current state of cumulative vulnerability, which I just referred to a while ago. Your Excellency, I am sure you would agree with me when I say that Sri Lanka has been an active member of GGGI, given the short period we have been in a membership. Sri Lanka first became an official member of GGGI in 2019 and currently hold the office of the Vice President to the Assembly and Vice Chair of the Council since 2022. We have been implementing the GCF National Adaptation Planning Readiness Support Program with the support of the GGGI, facilitating adoption of sustainable public transport services for low-carbon city development. Sri Lanka now look forward to a more ambitious phase of partnership with GGGI. The overall objective of this phase is to strengthen previous and complement existing fora on the transformation of Sri Lanka's development to a green growth model. Towards this, we are bringing together all the key stakeholders, groups, so that their expert opinions will be duly heard and recognized. They will accordingly contribute to the dialogue, showcasing strategies and key actions required to enable the acceleration of Sri Lanka's green development agenda, taking on board an integrated, holistic and inclusive approach. Obviously, the government cannot achieve this alone. We have brought all the key stakeholders together to help us move forward. We are determined to work together to achieve priority actions for green growth in Sri Lanka. As the government of Sri Lanka, we are creating the enabling environment with the correct policies and strategies in place to support the green growth agenda. On the other hand, we have recognized the role of the private sector here. We are bringing the private sector on board, supporting our transition to cleaner, renewable energy, promoting more sustainable transport systems, and supporting with innovative technologies in the agriculture sector. Thereby, I am happy to announce that Sri Lanka will be signing the host country agreement on 7th February 2023, that is tomorrow, to further strengthen Sri Lanka's green growth development. In conclusion, I wish to request all of you Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, pragmatic partnership in our common efforts of Sri Lanka's green transition. And for our distinguished guest, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, I wish a very productive and a memorable stay in Sri Lanka. Thank you.